Hermann Gehr, in his classic study of the dynamic enterprise, suggests that a holistic and integrated approach to organizational change is necessary to prepare the firm to operate in an environment of rapid social and technological change. He further states that in order to effectively facilitate strategic thinking and change, people must be enabled to see the big picture, to simplify and understand the complexity of forces impacting their enterprise so they can choose the best strategic direction, to engage all key stakeholders to build a sense of ownership and responsibility among all relevant stakeholders so they can contribute their best thinking to the challenges ahead and be willing to put their plans into action when it is time to implement, and to build a blueprint that promotes ongoing dialogue and coordinated change throughout the enterprise. To achieve Gehr's ideal vision of the dynamic enterprise, leadership must recognize that a new paradigm of operational connectivity and organizational synchronization is imperative, not only for success, but for sustainability and survival. In this module, we will focus on how to effectively implement the necessary changes Gehr suggests by introducing an integrated model of organizational change which can harness the absolute power of an integrated knowledge management system. Effective organizations in this era will be characterized by their abilities to create synergistic relationships to form enhanced leverage in their areas of operational focus. Collaboration, cooperation, and coordination will be the keys to forming successful combinations for expanded capabilities in this decade. And the need for synchronization among a cooperative of individual organizations will be as important as the need for synchronization within a single organization. Networked operations will become the ultimate leveraged advantage within the global economy. The networking of individually owned, operated, and controlled companies or organizations together for a unified mission represents a significant challenge that only the most progressive thinking of organizations will be able to achieve. Michael Porter's concept of the value chain and its expanded version of the value web model provides a foundation for a clear articulation of how important relationships are in this era, the global cooperation. Each segment of the value chain is a depiction of the connectivity of one department to another within an organization, or one organization connected to another joined in a mutually beneficial business relationship designed to benefit all involved and their combined stakeholders. More importantly, the rules that we must follow in order to realize an interorganizational network capability requires a fully synchronized operation that has a unified, purpose-driven, enterprise-wide strategic plan. Information systems in general, and the knowledge management resources specifically, provide the networks with a real-time, fully functioning operational nerve center essential to the overall effective management of the chain. The data that flows through the information systems technology, communications channels, provides management with the necessary knowledge to effectively, efficiently, and economically synchronize and control the orchestrated activities of the united value chain. In a networked value chain operation, real-time data-driven decisions are required to be made at each level of the coordinated activities and for each stage of the integrated processes. The dynamic nature of the incorporation of the multitude of resources and processes from a wide variety of countries, organizations, groups, divisions, departments, work teams, and individuals create an exponentially increasing number of potential points of operational failure. Leaders and managers in this era will need to be equipped with the information communications technologies and the skills to use them to provide a stable infrastructure for an efficient command and control capability. Only well-structured, synchronized organizations working together for a unified goal will be able to capitalize on the power of these suggested integrated synergistic methods. For many companies and organizations, large and small, connecting with other ventures to gain a cooperative advantage is a daunting task. It forces management to shift their field of vision from an internal perspective to a macro view of the world. In another module, I explored the problems preventing effective operations of a multi-organizational linked value chain or value web networks. I reported the major complications associated with optimal information and communications technology-based network operations were not associated with technological problems, but rather due to organizational dysfunction. Due to the results of a specific study conducted by Shamin Hitoun, we have learned that organizational incompetence is the major impediment to operational effectiveness of multi-organizationally linked webbed networks. Hitoun reported that it was the inability of the individual or combined organizations of the network to synchronize appropriately for expanded operational responsibility and collaboration that sub-optimizes the potentiality of the networks. In this module, I will examine the concept of an organizational development process that supports network management theories from an operational perspective. I will advance a set of proposed stratagems for the development and management of an effectively functioning, multi-faction, interactive, networked cooperative model. This focus on cooperation, evolving out of the necessity of forming interdependent collaborative arrangements, is required to achieve a sound networked operational advantage. This study surfaced two major areas of focus recommended to address these problems of networked and organizational suboptimization. The most important element contributing to organizational inefficiencies is leadership, followed by the overarching need for an ongoing organizational development model that provides a continuous improvement capability. By addressing these concerns specifically, the opportunities for improvement and organizational synchronization are greatly enhanced. It is the organization's personnel, technology, and the level of its knowledge base which provides its foundational capability to contribute significantly to a unified networked operation. This in turn increases the opportunity to successfully achieve the value chain's joint goals and objectives. The ability to network in real time without geographic or physical constraints is provided by the colossal technological contributions of the information and communications technologies. The processes of leading effective organizational change in this era will be an essential skill that leaders will need to master in order to be considered proficient. Organizational development is a leadership issue and must be carefully implemented if the organization is to achieve its successful mission-oriented outcomes. Regardless of the industry or business type, leadership is an important variable that influences the effectiveness of an organization. According to Cole and Paul, leadership is the art of accomplishing more than the science of management says is possible. The three most suitable styles of leadership to guide a successful organizational intervention are the servant, entrepreneurial, and transformational styles. Current literature supports transformational leadership as the most effective of the three styles. And although an in-depth review of leadership styles, philosophies, and models is beyond the scope of this presentation, it is germane to the issue of leading an organizational improvement process. The management of human capital holds great importance in both organizational behavior and leadership studies and methods. It has been reported that positive organizational behavior ensures higher employee performance and increased commitment by improving employee engagement. Employee engagement is an essential component of successful, positive change in organizational behavior. The need for organizational development is a constant in today's rapidly changing world of business. Fortunately, there are adaptive models that can be effectively employed to expedite a successful organizational change of course process. One such model that I highly recommend, and which provides the synchronization of the human, technological, and knowledge components of an organization, is the ETK model developed by Dr. Cardenas. Synchronization, as used in the ETK parlance, is defined as the process of linking events and actions so they occur at the same time or in a predetermined sequence. Synchronized organizations are usually successful since they are able to move all their constituent components in concert and in harmony with the external functions and with each other so as to derive maximal synergy with the organization's entirety. Innovative outcomes in products, processes, and services are also areas that show great promise for strategic and internal continuous improvement programs guided by the ETK methodology. In the ETK model, E refers to the emotional, human dimensions that must be understood and addressed prior to initiating any significant plan of organizational change. T represents the technology networking dimensions, and K symbolizes the need to comprehend how knowledge within the organization is deployed to achieve its mandated goals. The ETK concept not only provides the leader with a set of easy-to-apply intellectual tools, but it is also a body of knowledge that provides an organization with the protocols for sustainable success in a new world of interconnected networks and global alliances. An ETK audit and gap analysis can identify the status of your organization's ETK quotient and provide a clear blueprint for how to synchronize these features with the overall goal and purposes of the corporation. The San Diego Global Knowledge University and its International Training Center subsidiary hold in-depth materials in their archives that will provide the participant with a clear understanding of how to deploy an ETK intervention and how to use it to synchronize the human, technological, and knowledge resources of an organization. These processes are required to enable an organization to build the capabilities needed to effectively collaborate in a networked environment. And once again, I strongly urge those of you who will be involved in this type of effort to review the materials in other ITC modules regarding how to deploy the ETK model to synchronize the various aspects of your organizational units in order to prevent failure due to the nature of sub-optimization created by entropy and the lack of organizational synchronization. The ETK model can be used to better understand the environment in which an organization operates, while at the same time aligning its internal organizational strategies to the demands of the external environment. Leaders are needed who will understand the realities their organizations face and who are willing and able to guide their organizations in the transition to these new modern paradigms of operations. In summary, globalization has generated an external environment of intense change and turbulence, and quite often the internal strategies and tactics of an organization do not change or adapt, leaving it poorly synchronized. Knowledge is power, and to slightly alter a great philosopher's famous quote, absolute knowledge is absolutely powerful. Networked organizations gain a multiplier effect regarding the combined knowledge and operational capability by the value web. I strongly recommend that we combine the applications of the ETK organizational development method and the value chain network models to provide an organizational architecture that can be easily monitored, synchronized, and merged with other associated entities for an increased capability. A properly ETK synchronized company networking with others in a value chain of cooperation operating in a virtual world marketplace of cyberspace will exponentially increase their joint opportunities for success, expansion, and sustainability. I invite you to take action now.